School as the Oak Hill Red Devils welcome in the Bluefield Beavers here on a perfect football weather senior night. Lucas Berry alongside Chris Rader here for you. Chris, I couldn't be more thankful to be in the booth tonight.
Oh, man, me too. That's what I said when I came up here. I'm glad I'm in the booth tonight. If you're here tonight, you probably have a kid out on the field somewhere. This is a game for the diehards. It's going to be sloppy field conditions tonight, that's for sure.
Now, you mentioned the sloppy field conditions. I want you to take a good look at Bluefield's white jerseys. You will not see that in like 2 minutes.
No, that they're going to get dirty real soon. So mention the sloppy field conditions. This is actually something that can work in Oak Hill's advantage. This might be the only game that Bluefield has played on natural grass all season. I was looking at their schedule. Unless they played on it last week against Grayson County in Virginia, this is going to be their first game on natural grass, and the field's a mess. And I can tell you, you can't always tell on your TV or if you're watching on your iPad or something at home, that field, that the grass is thicker and higher than it looks, too. So if you're Bluefield and you played every game on artificial turf this year, this probably feels like walking through wet hay tonight.
You mentioned Bluefield coming in here. As you mentioned, they did play last week against Grayson County, Virginia, and they come in here with a record of 3-4 on their season. This is the number 20 team in AA. This is a really important game for Bluefield. Massive
game because you mentioned their playoff aspirations. A win over a 6-win AAA team like Oak Hill would give them a real shot in the arm. So Bluefield will definitely come in motivated tonight.
Oak Hill on the other side of the ledger comes in number 10 in the state, as they have continued to win. The only blemish on the record is that game against Princeton. We talked about that the next game we had. It looks bad on the scoreboard, but Oak Hill did not play poorly that game. Princeton's just really good.
No, Oak Hill's had a nice season. And tonight for Oak Hill isn't so much about playoff positioning or SSAC points. Tonight is about psyche. They haven't beaten Bluefield since 2003. There isn't a kid on Oak Hill's team that has ever witnessed Oak Hill winning a game against Bluefield in football. So tonight they have to get over just the names on the jerseys. They have to beat the jerseys of Bluefield. I've done a lot of Oak Hill Bluefield games. I've seen a lot of blowouts. Tonight is probably Oak Hill's best chance in a long time to get a win over the Beavers, but it won't be easy. I think these are two very similar teams, and it should be a competitive game.
Last year, these two teams played to a 34-14 Bluefield win down there. Last time they played here, 41-21 Beavers rolling out with the win. Speaking of the Beavers, they will be kicking off to start the game. They'll be going from left to right on your screen. Oak Hill in those black helmets, black jerseys, and red pants. Bluefield in the would-be Concord, if not for the striped maroon and white. Here we go, underway. That's when he fielded at about the 20-yard line. He'll take it out to the 25, to the 30, and they'll get the 35. Good field position for Oak Hill to start out the game.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on tonight. Elijah Gray is going to be out for the Red Devils tonight, and Elijah's been an important piece for Oak Hill, not only offensively but defensively. So that's a key loss for the Devils tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on, see if other players can step up in Elijah's absence tonight, Lucas.
Now, it feels like to me, we mentioned the weather. We mentioned what the field conditions are like. These two teams are similar. This feels like whoever establishes their running game first has the upper hand, and Oak Hill's got a great shot to do that first drive of the game.
Yeah, this looks like J.D. Moritz weather. I mean, J.D.'s a north-south runner. This is going to take north-south type running tonight to get the W.
They'll come out in that stack formation, hand the ball off to J.D. He'll dive forward for about 4 yards, call it 2nd and 6.
Now, something tonight we can keep an eye on. I was talking to assistant coach Rob Long yesterday, and he told me that something Bluefield likes to do with their tackles. Their defensive tackles a lot of times will really shoot hard into that B gap. They like to kind of disrupt things in the middle there. So they had some things that they thought that they could do to exploit that, some changes in blocking strategy, and we'll see what Oak Hill can do tonight against those slanting tackles.
Two receivers to each side, single step back in the backfield. It's another handoff. Surprise, surprise. Trying to bounce to the outside. J.D. does. He'll find the 50, and he'll find the 46 before being shut out of bounds.
Nice game that time. So J.D. was able to bounce it outside that time. Desmond Bach, big right tackle, kind of pulled and led him around that time. So nice game for J.D. And you're talking about the mud. I see Adam Long completely covered in mud. And we're already, so it's going to get dirty really quick.
We're 3 plays in, and we've already got mud cakes out there. Oak Hill will send 3 receivers to the far side, a single receiver down to our side, and the snap is back. Another handoff to J.D. Moritz, and he gets. I'll give him about a yard. I don't know if they will, but I will.
Again, and I think we kind of saw Bluefield doing what we talked about. They really slanted their tackles into those B gaps that time. create a lot of disruption, and Bluefield's able to hold JD for a minimal gain that time.
They will give him a yard, so it'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Red Devils here. Ball is resting on the 46.5-yard line. 3 receivers to the far side. Handoff once again. JD. No, it's a pass. I'm sorry. And it's incomplete. Fooled me.
Yeah, well, so Malachi pulled it down initially. I don't know if Bluefield jumped the route out there, and then he kind of scrambled out to his right-hand side and tried to flip it out to his receiver. And again, that's where the wet ball might come into play tonight. It's not ideal conditions if you're trying to throw the ball tonight for either team.
And now you've got a team in a situation where neither of these teams really want to be living, and that's 3rd and long. As Oak Hill will come out with 3 to the far side, 1 to the near side. Men does come in motion. And that will be a handoff. JD will get to about the 40. So that'll be 4th down and decision time for Devon.
Yeah, and I think JD probably got enough where Coach Marion's probably going to think about going for it here. We'll see. JD, a nice run. He was initially kind of bottled up and stopped right around the line of scrimmage, but as JD does, he kept his legs turning. So that's going to be 4th and right around 3, just inside the 40. So that definitely is decision time, and I think he's keeping his offense on there. I think Oak Hill's going to go for it here early in the game.
Big chance here for the Red Devils. Big defensive chance for the Beavers. And Oak Hill breaks their huddle with 10 seconds on the play clock. 2 to each side. It's a handoff. And JD got a 1st down and then some. He'll get it down to about I'll call that 32.
And again, we saw Oak Hill kind of pull it its backside right guard and right tackle and kind of led JD up through there. So nice gain, keeps the drive alive for the Devils. And we're seeing a heavy dose of JD Moritz, is kind of like we thought. Now he checks out, and it looks like James Green is coming in. JD's kind of getting his hands wiped off down there.
When James Green has been in, he has run with a purpose. And he gets a chance to do that here, and I think that ball came out. It did. And Bluefield saying they have it. And
I think Oak Hill came back up with it. That would have been a huge turnover.
So 2nd down and back it up. That's going to be 2nd down and like 14.
I want to give credit to number 44 for Bluefield, but the 44 that I have cannot be the same kid, because the 44 I have is 5'7", 145 pounds, and that linebacker out there is not. So I'll try to get his name. He's made a couple nice plays already for Bluefield from his inside linebacker position. He blew that play up that time.
Quarterback keep. And that goes absolutely nowhere. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, if that.
Nice play that time by Grady Woods, a 5'11", 230-pound defensive lineman for the Beavers. You're right, that time Malachi tried to pull it out of his belly and keep it himself, but Grady was having none of it. And now Oak Hill's in a 3rd and long situation.
Well, they converted it the last time, but that was also 3rd and 9, not 3rd and 11. That's a long 11, too. And it looks like Oak Hill is switching out some equipment. JD's still on the sideline.
Yeah, Tyler Ashmore's going to check into the game. JD's trying to get his hands wiped off. He's really wet, really muddy, and he wants to make sure he's got good ball security. So I think Coach Marion's going to take a timeout. They look discombobulated there, and that's a good timeout for Coach Marion.
And we'll take it with them here on the Nuva Network. You are watching high school sports.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Back into the New River Network's coverage of high school football. It's 3rd down and 11 for Oak Hill as the snap is back. It's a pass, and Malachi slipped, and Malachi goes down. 4th down and, 4th down and 16.
Yeah, you got to think this is punt time. R.J. Harrison in for the sack that time for Bluefield, but you give credit to the sack to the field that time. As Malachi decided to make his move, he just lost his footing, and you can see, I guess you can see on TV if you're watching at home, The middle of that field's already really marshy. You see some standing water in some places. That's going to play a big role tonight.
It feels like the first 1 to 10 wins the game, truthfully. It may even be first 1 to 7. As the punt comes back and whistles all over the field, Laundry is down on the far side. So we'll see what this is.
That's usually a procedure penalty pre-snap. They'll probably back Oak Hill up here. We'll see. Yeah, false start that time.
False start that time against the Red Devils. Make it 4th down, and scoreboard says 21. So if it was already a punt time, it most certainly is now.
And something else with the wet ball when special teams, you want to make sure you have clean snaps back there. And the
Snap
punters
is back. Punter gets it. It's a pretty good kick, and they'll
takes a
take an
good
Oak Hill
bounce.
roll. And that's going to be well covered by the Red Devils.
Yeah, Mason got a nice roll that time, and Oak Hill had good coverage down there. Tyler Ashmore coming out of there. Also want to give credit.
Number 2, Sincere Fields with the return.
Looks like Cade Compton, freshman in there on the special teams tackle. Nice job by Cade.
As the Beavers begin their first possession on offense tonight, 7:21 to go in the first quarter. Oak Hill killed nearly a half of a quarter, I should say. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Rainelle Medical Center, for sponsoring us tonight. Appreciate all the fine work they do, and once again, thank you for sponsoring this contest. Beavers come out now in a bunch formation to the far side. Here's the handoff. And that's going to be a good gain for the Beavers. I can't find a number from the far side. That far side kills me every game I do here.
I think that was Tykees Powell, the 5'11", 190-pound senior for the Beavers. He's usually their primary ball carrier in the backfield. Went over the left-hand side. Oak Hill really had a lot of men committed to the line of scrimmage, but Bluefield was still able to pop that through there for a really nice gain. Second and very short here for the Beavers. You can really open up your playbook on second and inches.
Now, we were talking about this before the game. Bluefield has their starting quarterback is number 11, Bryson Redmond, but they will go 2 quarterbacks if they have to.
Yeah, they'll switch in Sincere Fields in there at times. No, there goes Redmond.
And he's got quite a few yards there. He'll take it out to about the 39.
Usually that's what they like to do with Sincere Fields is the design quarterback runs. But Redmond will do that occasionally too. And that time he had a really nice run, and they've found something early over the left side of that offensive line, getting some nice holes over there.
If our working theory was true, it appears the natural grass has not bothered the Beavers yet.
Well, they're going north-south. Usually Bluefield likes to really test the edges, but in this field conditions, they might try to go more north-south between the tackles tonight.
Pistol formation, handoff again off that left side of the line. They keep finding it, and they get a chunk of yardage. I'll give them 6 that time.
Yeah, they're getting yardage in chunks. So, yeah, they were down deep in their own territory. They've already moved it, well, not quite across midfield, but they've really moved it toward midfield. And Oak Hill's going to have to make an adjustment. Bluefield's wearing out the right-hand side of that defensive line for Oak Hill right now.
5:47 to go on a rolling first quarter clock here at John P. Duda Stadium. Diehards are out in force tonight as the Beavers line up. Quarterback in that pistol formation. He takes himself. It's Redmond on the far side, and he gets stuffed in the backfield. We lost a couple of yards there. They tried it on that left side, and Oak Hill snuffed it out.
Quarterback number 11, Bryson Redmond.
Trying to see. I think that was Mikey Spike who came up and got that tackle. Really nice play that time from Mikey, and Oak Hill needed that. They needed a TFL against Bluefield. Bluefield was wearing them out early, so nice play by Mikey. That puts them in a 3rd and roughly 7 situation now. We'll see what Bluefield dials up here on 3rd and long. First 3rd and long they faced.
Snap is back. It's another handoff. And Oak Hill will
Stocked it up, yeah.
for no gain. So after moving the ball fairly well to start out, Bluefield gets, well, we'll say Bluefield gets stuffed out.
Isaiah Conley came out at the bottom of that pile. Oak Hill was really putting their linebackers up that time. You could see that they were looking to plug the gaps that time. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 7. I would think on this side of the field, Bluefield's probably thinking punt here. No reason to go for it on your own side of the field this early in the game.
No, and it looks like they will be lining up to punt this ball. And like you said the last time, if you're in special teams, get a good clean field on it and get it away.
Now, I will say this. The punter is not – his depth is not very far back. That's going to be like a quick kick.
And that's a flag on the field. We'll see what this comes to.
So they're keeping in Redmond that time, the quarterback, and he's not lined up at normal depth that you would normally see a punter, so they're definitely quick kicking. You know, if you're Oak Hill, you want to take a chance, you can send a couple men so you can get a cheap block here, because he's definitely not at that 13 to 15-yard depth that you normally see punters.
No. And how often do you see a quick kick like that in high school, false start against the Beavers?
We'll see if Coach Simon stays in that quick kick formation or if he goes to more of a traditional punt formation.
You mentioned Coach Fred Simon. It's been a theme all year for Oak Hill and under first-year head coach Javon Marion. They've played a lot of experienced head coaches, and for the most part, they've beaten every one of them.
Well, I mean, Fred Simon's a legend in West Virginia. If he's not in the Hall of Fame already, I'm not sure. He's definitely headed that way.
As the kick gets away, Oak Hill did send a few, and that'll take a Bluefield bounce to about the 19-yard line before they down it there.
Yeah, he got a nice bounce that time. So nice punt by Redmond. Puts Oak Hill inside the 20-yard line. But that's something I'll pay attention to if they stay in that type of formation, because Redmond's taken that snap probably only 7 or 8 yards behind center. That's well shorter than your normal punt depth. And we'll see if Oak Hill wants to take a chance later in the game, maybe send some rushers and see if they can get a punt block.
Oak Hill will take possession back here with 3:51 to go in the first quarter. Red Devils have the ball on their, I'll say the 19-yard line, 19 and a half. The receiver switch, actually, forgive me, people. It's been an interesting day for me. As the handoff comes up the middle, he'll get a first down, and we'll restart things here.
JD doing JD things. He's just running through tackle. Now, we have some chippiness going on down there, so we'll keep an eye on that. But JD Moritz just running through tackles that time. And, again, picking up a nice first down. JD rarely goes down on first contact, and Bluefield will find that out early here tonight.
If they haven't already.
Yeah, I think they're finding out already.
Yeah.
And I think we're already seeing both teams like the screen game, but we're seeing both teams really rely on the run game in these field conditions. They're kind of staying away from the edges right now and putting the ball in the air.
3 receivers to the far side for Oak Hill. As it's a low snap, Malachi will take it, and he gets absolutely spun to the ground. That was a big tackle there. And some words being said after the fact. I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag on that.
Jaden Francisco, he might be Bluefield's best overall lineman, 6'3", 275. So whoever's trying to block Jaden tonight's going to have a full day. And nice play that time by Francisco after the low snap. And, again, we've seen it a couple times with Oak Hill. With the wet ball and the wet field, it's affected Oak Hill more so than Bluefield so far. Oak Hill's had some mistakes due to it.
Oak Hill comes out, 2 receivers to each side. Single set back in the backfield. Snap is pretty good. This time they'll throw it out to David Spalding. He will get to about the 35.
And he's soaking wet. He just got knocked out of bounds, and if you can see it on TV, the out of bounds area is nothing but a mud hole. David Spalding is soaking wet right now.
We're just going to name that Lake Marion.
Oh, my gosh. It's like John P. Duda Water Park here tonight. Yeah, the sidelines are a mess. Nice little out pattern that time. Malachi put it right on him, though, and that makes it third and fairly manageable for the Red Devils.
And Bluefield jumped, and they knew it. Give him a free 5.
And we've seen that a lot this year. Malachi Lewis will change the snap count. That probably comes in from the sideline. And we've seen Oak Hill get a lot of free 5 yards. And now, with the free 5 yards, you're not necessarily in a passing situation.
No,
Maybe
not.
you can thank J.D. Moritz again here, because that's going to make it third and around 3. And you can definitely think about trying to run J.D. now. Whereas before, you're thinking you got to put the ball up to get the first down.
Officially 3rd and 3 on the scoreboard with 2:33 to go in the first quarter. And I'm with you, Chris. I'm thinking number 4 gets this ball all day long.
They've had some success already pulling the backside guard and tackle from the right side over to the left. Let's see if they try that again.
Here is the snap. It is a handoff. And J.D. gets a first down and then some. He'll cross the 40 to the 30 before he gets dragged down.
I don't think the play's over.
I don't think so either.
JD never went down, and he didn't realize. The referees never blew the whistle. JD never went down. No one knew it. JD just tosses the ball out of it. If he would have kept going, he would have scored a touchdown. JD never, his knees never went down. Oh, that's a huge missed opportunity, and it speaks to the old adage, play to the whistle. Play to the whistle. And JD, great run, but he was never down.
The things you see on a Friday night. Here's the snap. It's a handoff, and JD goes down big time on that one. That one for sure was down.
I tell you, he's lucky that he tossed the ball out of bounds and he didn't just lay it on the field. That could have been a turnover. Nice play by R.J. Hairston for Bluefield that time, throwing JD for a loss. But yeah, that's a lesson you learn. Never assume anything. And the kid that spun JD down, JD never went down, and I think he assumed he did, but the officials never blew that play down.
Snap is back. It's a handoff. And JD gets, again, never goes down on first contact, and he dives forward for about a yard or two. Make it third down and somewhat manageable.
Yeah, we might see JD get a career high in carries tonight. He's definitely going to be the workhorse, and so far it's working. He's piling up the yardage. JD is probably getting close to 100 yards rushing. We're not out of the first quarter yet.
Depending on what else happens on the state, he might be the state's rushing leader tonight.
And you can also, Oak Hill's got 2 plays to get these 11 yards, so they can open up the playbook here.
And they will get that screen pass, and that goes nowhere.
Nice little screen out to Z. Lewis, but I didn't see a lead blocker that time. I don't know if they were trying to, because a screen, you usually have another blocker out there trying to seal his man, and there was no blocker out there that time for Oak Hill. So the screen went nowhere. Now you're in a 4th and long situation.
So we'll see what Oak Hill chooses to do here.
And I promise, I'll get number 44's number for Bluefield. He's really playing a nice game from his linebacker position. And
we have another stoppage of play. I don't know why.
I think we took a timeout. I don't know if Oak Hill took a timeout or Bluefield did.
Well, the timeout in the field we'll take with and try to sort things out. You're watching high school football on the New River Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Welcome back into the New River Network. We'd like to take this time to welcome those of you watching on the Greenbrier Valley channel, Channel 5. We are glad you're with us here on what is as I said in the earlier part of the broadcast, a perfect football weather game. It's perfect football weather, and I'm glad I'm up here talking to you guys. So Chris Rader joining me. I'm Lucas Berry here on the New River Network. We also like to take this time to mention some sponsors here. Fit for a Queen and Fade on Indian Glass for sponsoring our scoreboard tonight. Couldn't do it without them. And again, I say this every week, but it remains true. Support local businesses. Support local businesses.
So while we're thanking sponsors, we want to thank Dr. Scott Keffer. If you can see the far side of the field and that lit up down marker, that's the courtesy of Dr. Keffer. That makes it a lot easier on us, and that's a cool little feature for a high school game.
Speaking of that down marker, it's 4th down and 9 for the Red Devils here. And we'll see what Devon Marion has in his bag of tricks for this one.
And Bluefield's got their defensive backs back. They're that pump and go.
And that pass is, oh my goodness, almost caught. Looked like it was almost going to be a tip drill.
Yeah, they tried to run a little pump and go, but Bluefield had their D-backs back pre-snap anyway. That deep pass wasn't going to be there. He tried to get it to Armani Hicks, and it was just a little too high for him. And again, he's lucky when that ball was batted up, somebody didn't come and pick it off. So Bluefield bows up after Oak Hill with a nice drive, but they couldn't finish it off. So Bluefield takes over deep in their own territory. Looks like just inside the 20 of Lucas.
Well, last time Bluefield did this, they marched right down the field and got to about the 50 and then they stalled. So we'll see what happens here.
We'll see if Bluefield stays with their ground game or if they try to open it up here a little bit on this rainy night. They stayed on the ground exclusively the first drive.
Here's the handoff. They'll go to the far side. They love that far side, don't they? And he gets upended.
Nice. I think that was Malachi came up from his safety position. Malachi's a really short tackler, did a nice job. And Oak Hill is really looking to defense the run right now. They're committing a lot of guys within just 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
We are 30 seconds into the second quarter as Bluefield will break their huddle now in those still surprisingly clean white uniforms. I don't know how they managed to stay this clean so far.
And again, Oak Hill with 10 men around the line of scrimmage within 5 yards.
Snap is back. Yeah, it's a pass play. They've got a man, and that pass is going to be a little long and a little wide.
You kind of figured that was coming where Oak Hill just kept creeping guys toward the line of scrimmage, so they tried to take a shot down the field. But nice coverage that time. They wanted to hit R.J. Harrison, who's usually their primary receiver. And I couldn't tell if that was Z. Lewis. I think that was Z. Lewis on the coverage that time. And he was with him step for step. So that puts Bluefield in a 3rd and long situation.
3rd and 8 from, we'll call it the 20. Here's a keep up the middle, going absolutely nowhere. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. Big stand there for Oak Hill.
Yeah, and again, Redmond isn't typically the quarterback from my understanding. They usually, if they're going to run QB runs, they like to put Sincere Fields in there. But we've seen Redmond keep the ball 2 or 3 times already, but Oak Hill was definitely ready for that. That was just QB power that time, and it went nowhere. Now, Redmond's going to stay in there, and I know the last time I talked about, he's not really at normal punt depth, and he isn't again here.
He's a little bit further back, it looks like.
And this is definitely a punting situation. I think I would try to take a chance and try to block this. I'd send some extra rushers.
And Oak Hill almost gets to it, as that one will take a roll to about the 40 where Bluefield will cover it.
We'll see if later in the game, Mikey Spike's already gotten a couple punt blocks already this year. And with Redmond staying at that depth, we'll see if Coach Marion decides to try to send Mikey and get another one. I definitely, especially in short punt situation, that's 4th and long deep in their own territory. They're not going to take a chance and try to fake that. I would definitely try to send some extra men and get a punt block out of that.
Especially in a game like this, if you can get it on the 20, you take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the 40-yard line, Oak Hill will take command of the football once again. 10:19 to go in the first half. Trips to the near side, single receiver out wide. To the far side, Bluefield creeping up toward the line. And Oak Hill will hand the ball off. And that'll go for about a yard or 2, as is usual.
Yeah, Bluefield's linebackers were definitely creeping up there, showing that they were going to come on a run blitz. They're going to have to do something to slow J.D. Moritz down. He's eating them up so far this first quarter. So they can't be in a read and react situation, and they definitely weren't that time either.
They'll say it's 2nd and 9 here on the scoreboard in the stadium. And that's what we will call it as Oak Hill lines up with 2 to each side and a single setback in the backfield with the Malachi Lewis, the quarterback. Lewis takes the snap. He throws out wide. I think that pass got batted down.
Yeah, I think it might have too. It might have been Francisco that knocked that down. That's who I'm going to give credit to. But I think Francisco got his hands up and was able to knock that down. He had a nice sack earlier. He's a good player. I was talking to the Bluefield play-by-play guy earlier, and he said Francisco is probably their best lineman.
3rd and 9 to go, 9:41 here in our first half. No score on the board yet.
Lucas, for some reason, I can see much better through your window than I can mine. I can see much. I might have to ask you to scoot over a little. We might have to share the window here. It's
you're
much
the one
brighter
that's getting
through
the
here.
numbers. I'm the one that's supposed to, but you're getting it better. Here's the snap. It's a improvised keep. Malachi will take it. He'll get to the 20, and he's going to score. Touchdown, Oak Hill.
And that's what Malachi Lewis can do for you. He saw nothing downfield that he liked. It looked like Bluefield may have been in man coverage, though. And when you're in man coverage and you're running with the receivers and you got your back to the quarterback, then Malachi can just tuck it and go, and that's exactly what he did. Big play for the Devils that time.
Why didn't you scoot over earlier, Chris? We could have had. Come on.
Yeah, if you've noticed, I've been trying to duck my head over here.
Yeah.
I can see so much better through your window than my window. So
I'll hang over here.
I didn't mean to crowd you out of there.
I'll hang over here with Darren. He likes me enough. He might not after the game is over, but he likes me now. We'll line up for the extra point here. As David Spalding hustles off the field. Snap is back. Kick's on the way, and that kick is good.
Yeah,
So
you can't take anything for granted in these field conditions either.
No, you
Nice
can't.
kick.
With 9:28 to go in the second quarter, Oak Hill has a 7-0 lead. We will return on the New River Network right after this.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Welcome back into the New River Network's coverage of high school football here. Oak Hill has taken a 7-0 lead over the Bluefield Beavers. And Chris, we talked about it earlier. That's what Malachi Lewis does. He found an opening and he had reservations for 6.
Well, yeah, he's a true dual threat kid. We've seen his passing come along as the season's progressed. Malachi's really matured as a quarterback, but we always knew he could do that. We always knew he had his legs, and he used that as a weapon that time to give Oak Hill the lead.
And it's plays like that will end up defining this game. Take it when you can get it, because you might not get some like that the rest of the night.
Yeah, points might be hard to come by on these field conditions.
We're ready to go for the kickoff. And that ball's in the air. It stays on the ground, rather, and that will be fielded about the 30. A great chance for Oak Hill to cover, and they do. He'll go all the way back to the 20, but he'll be ruled down at about the 29.
Boy, James Green with a really nice short tackle that time. He hit him low, picked up his leg, and almost looked like a wrestling maneuver that time. James wasn't going to let him go.
We've seen a few things that look like wrestling moves tonight.
Yeah, they're a little chippy between these two teams tonight. Bluefield really needs it for playoff positioning, and I think Oak Hill's just tired of losing to Bluefield. They want to take advantage of a team that they think that they can finally maybe get a win against. So there's some chippiness out there between the two teams. As long as they keep it clean, I'm okay with chippy.
And nothing like chippy on a cool October night, on senior night here at Oak Hill. The Beavers will break their huddle. They'll be in that familiar, well, it looks, I was going to say pistol formation. Yes, it is a pistol. Here's the snap. It's a handoff.
Boy, Braden Knight was having none of that. Joined in there by Mikey Spike, but boy, Bryson Redmond might tell Coach Simon, don't call that play again over number 73's
Yeah.
way. Braden Knight was having none of that. Redmond's giving up a lot of size to Braden Knight. Nice play that time.
If we're going to do that, flip it. Run to the other side.
Yeah, let's go to the other. Of course, I'm looking out there. I see Colton Naylor and Derek. So I see a lot of beef out there. So,
And
yeah, not a good place to run it right now. Oak Hill's got their big interior lineman in there. Nice play by Braden.
ask Buchanan and Upshur how that worked out last week, and they had beef.
Yeah.
Bluefield lines up once again, and they will hand it off to the far side. That will cross the 35 to the 40. They'll get a first down before it makes up that balance, and a late hit comes in. And I don't see a flag, but I look late to me.
Yeah, and I can't tell if that's Tykees Powell or Gerard Wade. It's one of the two, and it's where the numbers are getting covered up by mud. But that was a nice run over there on the right-hand side. They tested the edge that time. They're able to get a nice gain against Oak Hill's the left edge of their defense. We do see what this flag is.
And that's a holding against Bluefield, so negate the nice play.
That might have been why he got the edge. Sometimes when you see a running back get the edge, it might be because there was a hold somewhere, and it looked like, I guess that time there was. That's a big call, though. So, again, that puts Bluefield well behind the sticks where they don't want to be. So it's going to be second and very long here for the Beavers. Looks like the ball, spotting the ball on their own 25.
So 2nd and 15.
Yeah, it's called about 2nd 15.
And we've got stoppages on the field. Looks like officials are setting everything.
So Oak Hill was cheating Malachi over to R.J. Hairston's side. He's the receiver on the far side to the right by himself, and Oak Hill's cheating Malachi over toward him where he's their primary receiver.
Snap is back. It's low. And he'll have to improvise, and that did not end well for him.
Yeah, Mason McMullen looks like he might have been spying him anyway, and when Redmond dropped the snap and tried to sneak through there, McMullen was waiting on him.
So now you're in a 3rd and still bad.
Yeah, and there's not a great situation here for Coach Simon and the Beavers. 3rd and 14, wet ball. It's hard to get your passing game going. But let's see if they can dial up something here to get them a first down.
Pushing the halfway point of the first half.
And Oak Hill brings out one of their big linemen. They take out Colton Naylor and bring in speedier Isaiah Conley. He's more of a edge rusher for the Devils.
And that pistol formation is Bluefield. And Redmond will try to throw. He doesn't find anyone. He gets taken down. Big play there.
So I want to give that great play by Adam Long. He came in like a missile that time. But Sincere Fields was in man coverage that time on Z. Lewis. He tried to run a little post corner. Z was all over it. So Redmond really had nowhere to go with the ball. You could tell that Fields was his primary receiver. Great man coverage by Z. Lewis, who's been in man coverage a couple times tonight and stuck right with his man. But a nice play by Adam Long, and he just came in there like a rock at that time for the sack.
And we keep getting a little bit further back in terms of punt formation. Now they scoot up a little bit. I definitely come after this one. And they do, and they almost get there. That's been a theme here
Get
so
away
far.
from it.
And that's going to take, I'll say that takes in slight Oak Hill. They'll have it on the plus side of the field on the next possession.
Yeah, great field position. Obviously, they're spotting the ball. Looks like about the 48-yard line. So Oak Hill already taken over in Bluefield territory. This is a great opportunity to see if you can add to your lead.
You mentioned it, Chris. This feels like a very important drive in the game. Both teams have really, Oak Hill specifically has done a good job of killing clock. You've got 6:48 to go here in the first half. Not that you can kill all of that, but if you can get that down to, let's say, under 2 minutes or so, you score, you really put Bluefield in the bind.
Yeah, absolutely. Bluefield's having trouble getting anything going offensively right now.
Malachi takes the snap. He will hand the ball off. JD gets a first down. Surprise, surprise. That first contact didn't phase him.
The kid, he just runs so hard. He rarely goes down on first contact. He ran 2 guys over right time. He's just a big. They list him at 205 in the program. I think JD's probably closer to 215. And I mentioned earlier in the year, JD put a lot of time in the weight room. He did bulk up this year, and it has shown all year. He's just ran guys over the entire season. Again, he's going to check out and get a breather, and James Green, kind of a quicker scat back for the Red Devils, checks back in.
Malachi back there with James Green. We have 3 receivers, 2 on near side, 1 on the far side out wide.
JD needs a towel. He's begging for a towel down there.
Are there any dry ones left?
They're probably not. Somebody's going to have to give up their shirt.
And we've got a stoppage on the field, a timeout taken by the Red Devils, and we'll take it with them here on the River Network. Thank you for watching high school football.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Welcome back into the New River Network. Lucas Berry and Chris Ryder here with you. Oak Hill has a 7-0 lead on the Bluefield Beavers. There's 6:30 to go until halftime, and it's second down and 1 for the Red Devils.
This is more of a bunch set than you normally see from Oak Hill. Usually the receiver's a little further out.
James Green takes the snap. He gets near the first down, but the flag comes in, and that official put that one almost in the lights. It was high, so you knew it was coming down.
Yeah, Bluefield's got a kid down. I'm trying to get a number. That looks like number 4, Tykees Powell, comes up kind of gimpy. He might have to come out. Green really bananaed that out, trying to get the outside edge, and we might have a hold here on Oak Hill.
So we'll see what the call officially is.
And Powell, for Bluefield, to his credit, he's going to try to stay in the game. He's trying to shake off whatever is bothering him on that right leg. He's staying in the game. I thought he might have to come out. He's trying to gut it out, though.
Give him credit. That's tougher than I am. They're backing him up, and it will be a hold against Oak Hill. You call it.
Yeah, but that was a different formation than what we've seen from Oak Hill. Usually Oak Hill has their receivers spread out further to the edge. They had them bunched up. That was a tighter formation, and that might be by design. We might see if they're trying to change up their blocking scheme a little bit here against Bluefield tonight.
Handoff goes to James Green again up the middle. He's going to did his best J.D. Moritz impression there. Just dove forward, broke a few tackles, and gets a good chunk of that back.
And again, I'm seeing some chippiness down there. I saw Z. Lewis really finish off a block on the cornerback out there covering him, and things are getting chippy. The refs really going to have to keep an eye on that. Won't let things get out of hand. They're going to bring, well, I thought they were bringing Z out, keeping him in. But a nice run. James runs bigger than his size. I've said that all year. We know JD's a bull, but James runs a lot bigger than his size.
Malachi's back there. He takes the snap. JD's back in, and JD tried to pitch it back, and they're going to blow it dead.
So R.J. Hairston really crashed in hard that time on JD. So we'll see if he's going to crash in that hard from his defensive end position. You might see Malachi fake it, pull it, and try to go around where RJ's vacating, because he really crashed in hard and committed to getting JD. Nice play.
It worked out that time.
But we'll see if Oak Hill has something to offset that if he's going to keep crashing that hard.
Under 5 minutes here in the first half, Malachi takes the snap. He'll try to throw, and that pass is going to be nearly intercepted but caught to the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Oak Hill.
Man, you caught it. I think that was Tykees Powell who stepped. I thought he had it for a minute. I really did. I thought he might be going the other way. Great concentration by Mikey Spike to reel it in. And then I want to give credit to Z. Lewis, who gave him a really nice block downfield so he could finish off the play and get in the end zone. Great play that time for the Devils.
Great play. So 13-0 Red Devils with the lead here before our extra point attempt. Jackson Pino back there to attempt the PAT. Snap is back. Kick is up, kick's on the way, and that kick is good. So with 4:39 to go in the first half, Oak Hill has taken a 14-0 lead on the Bluefield Beavers. We shall return on the New River Network right after this. Welcome back into the New Network's coverage of high school football here. Oak Hill has taken a 14-0 lead on the Bluefield Beavers. Chris Rader, and that was a really impressive touchdown. That was a 14-point swing because it looked like Bluefield had the interception, but I don't know how it wasn't, but it got caught and it scored.
Yeah, nice concentration, like I mentioned, from Mikey Spike, even though somebody stepped right in front of him to reel that ball in. Great run after the catch. And Oak Hill is in control of the game right now.
In the air and caught at about the 33. They'll get out to the 40, so good field position for the Beavers. And if there was ever a gotta-have-it drive for the Bluefield Beavers, this is it.
Yeah, definitely. Bluefield, and I got to tell you, I'm seeing some body language from Bluefield. I think they're really getting frustrated. It's a terrible night. They're soaking wet. They're dirty. They're down 14-0, and from up here, I'm seeing some frustration. So this is a key part of the game for Bluefield. They want to stay in it.
4:35 to go until halftime. And I would say the one reprieve for these players from the conditions out there, but if you Bluefield, I don't know there'll be that much of a reprieve because Simon in that locker room. Beavers come out ready to go. And the snap is back. It's a fake pass handoff. And that took a long time to develop, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to call it a jet sweep because he's not coming in motion, but it's a sweep. He's just giving it to, and I think that was number 8, Gerard Wade. He's just giving him on the backfield, and they're just sweeping it out to the right-hand side. But it's not, I wouldn't call it a jet sweep because I normally think of that when you have a receiver coming in motion, you just hand it to him. But regardless, it's a 7-yard gain, and that puts Bluefield in 2nd and 3, and that's where they want to live is 2nd and short.
Bluefield comes out in that familiar pistol formation. Snap is back. It's a handoff up the middle, and that looks... He didn't get a first down, but he got as close as you can get without getting it.
Yeah, that time they just went north-south that time. And like you said, that's as close as you can get. That's going to be 4-down territory, 3rd and just inches here. So I guarantee you Coach Simon's looking at that way. He's got 2 plays to get this.
He's got 2 plays to get this. He's got 3:21 to get in the end zone before halftime.
Actually, they're going to move the sticks. I didn't think he got it either.
Yeah,
Yeah, they moved the sticks. I guess they decided to eyeball it. But, yeah, from up here, I thought he was short just now. But
well, we made this joke all year long. I started with you and Coach Chris, but it's still true. They never measure anymore.
Never measure anymore. They just eyeball it and guess. Uh-oh, here
That's
we go.
a bad snap. And he'll just fall on it, do a little bit of a mud dive there, and he'll get lost. That's a big loss, and that puts Bluefield in a really bad spot.
And I don't know if you can see it. The rain's coming down here pretty hard. I mean, it's really been coming down for a while now. I'm seeing puddles here on the sideline. You can see it coming in, and that definitely played a part that time of that bad snap. Ball handling is going to be an issue moving forward, and it's already been an issue for both teams already.
2nd and 20 for the Beavers here. Not where you want to live when you're down by 14 on the road.
Now, you finally had something going if you're Bluefield, and then you have something like that in these conditions, and it puts you behind the sticks big time.
2:15 to go in the first half. Bluefield takes the snap. It's a fake keep. It ends up being a keep, and that went nowhere.
No, and you're right. I think that was designed. I think that was a design QB draw. Redmond showed like he was going to throw a little out pattern out there to the right, and Braden Knight, again, who had a really nice play earlier, he introduces himself to Redmond again. And Bluefield's in a bad shape here, 3rd and about 21.
3rd and 21 for the Beavers, 1:40 to go in the first half. And not where you want to be. And I say it every week, there's not many plays in the playbook designed to get you 3rd and 21.
Yeah, and Oak Hill's got 2 safeties back, which is unusual for them.
And they'll just run it up the middle. They'll get a good chunk of that back. Looks like he'll dive.
He got about half of it back.
Yeah, he did.
I think Coach Simon was probably just as we near the end of the first half, he's probably just looking to play field position right there.
And we've got a timeout taken by Oak Hill.
I think that's going to be their last of the half, Lucas.
I do believe you're right. And I do believe we will take it with them. On the New River Network, we will return right after this.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Welcome back in here on the New River Network. Lucas Berry, Chris Rader with you as we have a $1:16 to go until our halftime festivities commence. Oak Hill has a 14-0 lead on the Bluefield Beavers, and Bluefield is in an unenviable position of 4th and 11.
Yeah, and again, I can't imagine Bluefield's going to do anything too exotic here. They're just going to punt the ball and try to get into halftime down just 2 scores before Oak Hill can add anything else to it.
And we'll see if Oak Hill rushes the punt. It's a fake punt. And he didn't get it.
No, and I think Oak Hill, Bluefield, they got a few yards on, but I think Oak Hill was kind of ready for it. And that was David Spalding that came up and was able to make the tackle several yards short.
And maybe when that timeout was for, hey, guys, let's make sure we got our fake punt stuff. Let's make sure we remember that.
Yeah, and I think Coach Marion, that proved to be a good timeout. Bluefield struggled a little bit. Maybe he thought, Coach Simon might try to pop one through here on me. Let's make sure we're buttoned up in case it's a fake. And I think Oak Hill was ready for that, actually.
So now we get to ask the question that every play-by-play loves to ask. What do you do here if you're Oak Hill?
Well, you can take a shot. I mean, you're out of timeouts here. I wouldn't mind maybe taking one shot, seeing if you can go downfield. But with the 14-0 lead and the way Bluefield is really having trouble getting anything done offensively, I wouldn't be overly aggressive.
I'm with you there. And Malachi Lewis will run. He will get – that looks like a horse collar to me.
He was drugged down. I couldn't tell if it was a horse collar or not. That was number 9 for Bluefield in on the tackle. That's Ty Patton. First time we've called his name tonight. But that's a solid, 6-yard gain on a design QB run for Oak Hill.
And that'll take us under 50 seconds down to 46 seconds to go in the first half. Ball resting right on the 50-yard line.
And yeah, you might, maybe take a shot here.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Lewis takes the snap. Tried to find some space to throw. He finds some space to run instead. And he'll get tackled inbounds, and that might end the half.
We had a big collision between one of the refs and Ty Patton down there. In fact, the ref threw the best block of the play that time for Malachi. Ty was closing in on the tackle and ran smack dab into the umpire there. Both of them look like they're okay. He had a couple Oak Hill players checking on him. He looks like he's shaking it off, but yeah, I want to give credit to the umpire. He threw a heck of a block for Malachi that time.
It's like that 07 LSU Arkansas game. The umpire just threw a block in the middle of the field like that. All right, we're down to 15 seconds, and Oak Hill's going to have to hustle. They want to get a playoff here. Lewis rolls out, and it looks like he's just going to try to... I don't know how he got out of that, and he did, and that pass is knocked down with time expiring. So our clock has expired. That is halftime here at Oak Hill High School. Oak Hill has a 14-0 lead. Enjoy the halftime festivities on the New River Network. We'll be back for the second half action.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Bluefield, the red regime of the Oak Hill High School Marching Red Devils. Led by Director Travis Myers and Assistant Director Gary Crawford. The Oak Hill High School Marching Red Devils would like to thank the following for their various sponsorships for the band this year. We have Summit Community Bank, Kobe Asian Fusion, McDonald's, Mountain Vending, Tom's, State Farm, The Stash, Cathedral Cafe, Designs by Marvin James, Tyrese Funeral Home, Harmony for Hope, The Banks Family, Chris Rose Chiropractic, Papa John's, Corner Gas and Grill, Timberman Community Bank, and Pinnacle Chiropractic.
Yards on that side. I'm like, what are you talking about? Solid on 47 yards. Really? Solid on 47 yards. 20 out on one carry. Okay. What was the 2 out? Let's go! It's like
Field Commander Kylie Atkins and Catherine Dyer, your band ready.
Christmas decoration. First game and every day, their coach told us, said, we went playing. Wait a second, I don't know what you That's probably the best game of the night right there. Fort Marion's tough. We know what they are. Oh, we did up there? Hey, Dante is there. It's his little brother. That big for North Marion.
Is he real?
Yeah. Deshaun. He's bigger than both of them.
Real.
And he's a better baseball player than he is a football player. He's tough.
At this time, we'd like to mention a few more of our sponsors. We'd like to thank A to Z Speech Therapy, helping to communicate with all. A to Z Speech Therapy.
He was, oh God, he was struggling when he made it.
Van Awning and Glass, located at 1555 East Main Street in Oak Hill. Family owned and operated in your neighborhood for 50 years. When you have to do a project, do it best with Van Awning and Glass. We'd also like to thank Pendleton Community Bank with locations in Oak Hill and Mount Hope. Meeting all your banking needs, member FDIC. Pendleton Community Bank.
And all I got was sitting at the bottom of the bridge. And I was like, what is he doing out down here?
Clinical Chiropractic Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Flint, Dr. Thomas Munoz, 304-465-4325. Clinical Chiropractic.
You tired?
Miss Mikey's touchdown.
We'd also like to thank Quality Inn of Fayetteville and Elliott's Bar and Grill. Comfort and friendly accommodations along with outstanding food and spirits at Elliott's. Weeknight every Monday night.
I had no idea. And she was handing up the flowers and Mikey handed the flowers. And I was like, look at Mikey.
Quality Inn of Fayetteville and Elliott's Bar and Grill.
And she ran over here. All of a sudden, his Mikey's face lit up.
Icon Bush Insurance, insuring what matters, with locations in Oak Hill and Beckley. Call us for free quotes for home, auto, recreational vehicles, life, and business. Icon Bush Insurance.
Well, actually, Joey wasn't even out there. It's comes up.
That's what I was trying to figure out too. She parked the glasses and she couldn't see the Well, that's what I thought. I'm sitting there looking at it. I mean, ours is they're just like, yeah, I was like, I don't know. We'll look for it because I've got
So, how are you getting this song? Parcel.
yeah, they really
Speedy Daggers, Pack, Dalton Cody, Brandon. Ian Bell. You got sick. Couple of blood there. We had to talk to him. She took those off his. Oh yeah, he was really hit with anything like you might we all are.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Good evening and welcome into our second half coverage of Oak Hill High School football here on the New River Network. Lucas Berry and Chris Rader here with you. Oak Hill has a 14-0 lead in the Bluefield Beavers. And Chris, that was a, shall we say, interesting first half.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Bluefield comes out here in the second half. I mentioned in the first half, I was seeing some body language, some real frustration, and this is a night for it, man. It is pouring the rain. They're cold, they're wet, they're dirty, they're muddy. They're down 2 scores, so I'm interested to see if Bluefield can buck up here and have their heads on straight and make a game of this, because I could definitely tell they were getting frustrated in the second half.
Well, let's go ahead and get the address of the elephant in the room. Oak Hill has not beaten not beaten Bluefield since 2003. This has been a quote-unquote rivalry in which Bluefield has pretty much owned Oak Hill, and Oak Hill has a great chance to end that streak tonight.
Well, I mean, frankly, when Bluefield and Oak Hill get together, usually Bluefield comes in, they bust Oak Hill in the nose, take their lunch money, and go home. I knew coming into tonight this was going to be a much more evenly matched game than usual, and I thought Oak Hill had a really good chance to get a W. And I mean, 14-0 at halftime. So I think this would be really good for Oak Hill's psyche, just to beat Bluefield, get to 7-1, and man, now you have another big game next week against the team that has really kind of dominated the series most against Woodrow Wilson. But you can go into that game thinking, all right, we got Bluefield. Let's get Beckley.
Yeah,
let's get Beckley now. So, yeah, this would be a big game for Oak Hill's psyche.
And as we wind down to a minute left to go in our halftime, we'll set the scene here. If I recall correctly, Oak Hill got the ball first, so Bluefield gets the ball first to begin the second half. And I mentioned it earlier, they had a drive late on that was a must-have a drive that didn't go well. This is another must-have something drive.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach Simon, what adjustments he made at halftime. We were told coming into the game that a lot of times Bluefield will switch out quarterbacks and see if Fields would get some snaps. We haven't seen Fields take any snaps at quarterback tonight. They've kept Redmond in the whole time. And we were told that Fields is more their running threat, and we've seen Redmond actually keep the ball several times on design QB runs. So we'll see if Coach Simon wants to change things up there. Bluefield really, even when they would get something going and then they had like that bad snap that got past the QB, they had a holding penalty so they would get a little something going, but they just couldn't sustain it. And then Oak Hill would just shut them down. So, I mean, Fred Simons won 5 state championships for a reason, so I'm sure that he's been in this position before. We'll see if he made some adjustments at halftime and if Bluefield can get back in the game here.
And we'll mention this again. Oak Hill comes in here and ranked 10th in the state. Bluefield comes in here ranked 20th. This is a very important game for both teams. We were just talking about this at halftime. Oak Hill's got a puncher's chance of finishing in that top 8 in AAA. And Bluefield, if you beat a 6-win AAA team, that's a big feather in your cap.
You know, we were like you said, we were talking off air about Oak Hill's got an outside shot at not only, I mean, their playoff aspirations are pretty good right now. They're sitting 10th, but they got a chance to host a playoff game. And I was thinking, and I could be wrong, and somebody who's been around longer could maybe educate me. I can't remember Oak Hill being AAA and hosting a playoff game. I know when they were AA, they hosted a couple. But I can never remember Oak Hill being a AAA team and hosting a playoff game. And they have a shot to do. I'm not counting chickens before they hatch.
No.
But they have a shot to do that this year. That would be, I mean, in Coach Marion's first year, that would be amazing. That would be a huge feather in his cap.
If you told me when he got hired we'd be looking at a team hosting a AAA playoff game, I think I would have called you crazy.
No, and they've got a real shot to do that. So, but again, they have to finish this game, and then you have Woodrow. That will not be easy.
No, we're not. No,
we got a long way to go before we get to that. But there's a shot.
We got to finish this one first, and that starts the second half kickoff as Oak Hill will kick off here, going from left to right on your screen. And that ball is in the air, and it's going to be fielded. No, it's not. It goes out of bounds, so you can't put a kickoff out of bounds. So the Beavers a pretty good starting spot to start the second half.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That gives them the ball at the 35, and I know Jackson Pino wasn't trying to do that. He was trying to put it in no man's land over there on the sideline and kind of cut the field in half, but just couldn't quite keep the ball in bounds that time.
So we'll see what the Beavers have cooked up here.
They might make him.
And it looks like they're going to re-kick it.
I think they're going to make him kick it again, which is interesting. Usually teams will just take it on the 35, but Coach Simon's like, nah, kick it again. So that's an interesting decision there.
Yeah, that is. I didn't even know you could do that. I always assumed it was just put the ball at 35.
Maybe he's thinking Jackson will just kick it out of bounds until they get a touchdown. What do you think?
Hey, you take it any way you can get it, right?
The offense is struggling. He's like, yeah, it's just keep kicking out of bounds. We'll keep taking the yardage.
Yeah. That'd be something if you kicked it the other way. All right, we'll try this again. And that ball is, again, in the air. It's a little bit more toward the hash this time. And it'll be fielded. And I think that was a good decision on Coach Simon's part. And there's a reason why he's been so successful.
There's a reason why he's won 5 state championships. He let Sincere Fields get him about 11 or 12 extra yards than he would have gotten. So, yeah, that worked out well for Bluefield. Yeah, they get great field position here to start the second half. And the wind is really – I mean, the wind is blowing balloons on the field. Folks, if you can't it is a miserable night. And God love the people out in the stands. I've never been so happy to be in a booth in my life because it is miserable looking outside.
Amen to
We have
that.
cheerleaders. Mason McMullen's, Adam Long's trying to get balloons. Cheerleaders are out on the field trying to get balloons. And if one of them falls coming off the field, it'll be like a Benny Hill sketch.
And they fumbled the balloons. Oh, goodness.
So, wow, yeah, the wind's whipping. It's not a fun night to be out in the stands.
Okay, who had balloons on the field on their bingo card? All right, let's see what the Beavers have here in that familiar pistol formation. They'll snap from the 46-yard line. Sincere Fields will take the snap, and they'll hand it off, and that'll get about 2-3 yards on that, and some extracurriculars after the play. And I think it looks like he's hurt.
Yeah, Aaron Higginbotham finished off the tackle. And think that's number 8 for Bluefield. And I just called his name. Gerard Wade. He was the ball carrier that time. He came up a little shaken up. So I mentioned we might see a quarterback change, and we did right off the bat. Fred Simon does something different. He puts Sincere Fields in there. So let's see if we see some more zone read type plays for Bluefield with his running threat in there now at quarterback.
Ball's about the 48.5 in that pistol formation. He'll takes the snap. It's a quarterback keep up the middle across the 50, and he won't get much else. In fact, they're going to spot it at about the 49.5.
Mikey Spike, and then Malachi came up really hard from his free safety position to help out on that tackle. He's really good at run support. But if they see Malachi from his free safety position coming up that hard, let's see if they have a play like Oak Hill has where maybe he tucks it like it's going to be a QB sweep and then pulls it back out and tries to hit a receiver downfield, because Malachi came downhill really hard that time.
Well, on 3rd and 6, it might, if it lines up, might be a good idea to try that. Sincere Fields will be bottled up by a host of Red Devils, and there's another wrestling move.
Yeah, Aaron Higginbotham that time from his outside linebacker position. They tried to go at him, and he was ready for it. Nice play that time by Oak Hill, as it looks like Bluefield's going to have to go 3 and out here. And we saw Coach Simon here in the first half from a very similar spot on the field run a fake. I doubt he's doing that again. Bryson Redmond's coming in, and he's been quick, kind of doing a quick kick here all night.
Would you even, I mean, it's... And they will snap it. Oak Hill nearly gets to it again. That's been a theme all night, and it takes a Bluefield bounce inside the 20. And they'll down at about the 13-yard line.
Well, Redmond hasn't been at normal punt depth all night. Now, the first punt, though, he was around 7 or 8 yards. He's more around 10 yards now. He's backed up a little. But I remember when he came out for the first punt, I couldn't believe how shallow he was as far as punt depth. They backed him up a little bit, but he's still, normally punt depth is around 13 to 15 yards. He's standing about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And whoever's washing those pants and shoes for Bluefield, they didn't make a friend to number 7 there.
Jeffrey King went and stomped as hard as he could in the mud puddle just now.
Yeah. Here's the snap. It's a keep for Malachi, and he'll get nothing.
That doesn't get a whole lot there. He's trying to test the left side of that Bluefield defensive line, but didn't get a whole lot that time. R.J. Hairston, who's we've called his name a couple times here tonight, he was in on that tackle, among others. So, yeah, we'll just call that 2nd and 10. I don't think he got anything right there.
No, if he did, it was minimal. He may have gained an inch. We're winding to 9:10 to go in our 3rd quarter, and there's a flag on the field.
Yeah, did it again, changed up the snap count, and I would actually love to know how many times Oak Hill has gotten kids to jump this year. It's got to be double digits. It really does. And that has to be by design. I think they do that and change up the snap count. And I just know how many times this year we've gotten defenses to jump off sides. And all of a sudden you go from 2nd and 10 to 2nd and 5. That's a big difference.
It's a big difference. I was watching the Pat McAfee show this week. J.J. Watt was talking about how you don't see NFL teams using the snap count to the fullest advantage. And here Oak Hill is doing it almost perfectly. Here's the snap. It's another handoff, and again, nothing doing. May have gained a yard or 2.
Yeah, they gave it to J.D. that time, and they really had J.D. stopped that time. Nice job by the interior, the Bluefield line. I want to give credit, and honestly, I apologize. I just cannot make out who that is down there. It might have been Francisco, but I can't tell. But nice job by the Bluefield defense that time. J.D.'s really had a nice game, but they were ready for him that time and went nowhere. Yeah, it looks like Francisco, and they had lined him up at defensive end in the first half, and it looks like they've moved him into the interior here in the second half. So, again, Simon's made some changes here at halftime offensively and defensively.
Malachi Lewis on a 3rd and 6 takes the snap. Evades some pressure. Finds an outlet, and that pass is nearly picked and nearly caught. It falls incomplete, 4th and 6.
Well, I tell you what, it was a nice job by Malachi. He kept his eyes downfield. It looked like he was going to tuck it and run, and he saw Antoine Hicks come open, And as soon as he threw the ball, Antoine lost his foot. Antoine almost caught it anyway. But Antoine is probably getting some clock tonight because we mentioned in the pregame, Elijah Gray's out with an injury. So Antoine, who hasn't gotten to play a ton this year, just a freshman, is getting some more snaps than usual, but lost his footing that time.
4th down and 6 here, punt formation for the Devils, and the punt is away, and that will be down at about the 39-yard line. So a good punt, and with 7:57 to go, the Beavers will take possession of the ball. I'd like to take this time to thank our game sponsor for tonight, Rainelle Medical Center. Thank you so much for sponsoring tonight's contest.
So let's see if Coach Simon puts Fields back in there. I see Redmond running out the field, so I'm guessing Redmond. No. Yeah, he is staying out there. So I'm guessing Redmond's. No, Redmond's actually the receiver now. So they've basically just switched Fields and Redmond. So Fields is going to take the snap. They got Redmond
on the far side
out there by himself.
And we got a whole host of Beavers in the backfield.
And again, Oak Hill has a lot of men committed to the line of scrimmage here.
Snap is back. Yeah, it's a quarterback keep. Sincere Fields will take it. He will get to about the 45. 44 is what they're going to say.
Yeah, Bluefield just running power now, right? I mean, they're, like you said, this is old school football. They're snapping it straight to Fields and just running QB power. They have Redmond lined out there by himself. The other 10 guys are right within five yards of the ball, though. So this, in field conditions like this, I kind of see where you want to do that, too. You're just going to line up shoe to shoe and try to go north-south. Now, Bluefield hasn't had a ton of success doing that, but
what other choice do they have?
Yeah, they don't have a lot of choices.
2nd down and 6 for the Beavers here.
Definitely a full house backfield right here.
And that's a bad snap, and I think Bluefield fell back on it. It almost looked, David Spalding was right there. It almost looked like he could have taken the handoff.
Yeah, Spalding, yeah. And again, I actually think the snap was pretty good. I think Millfield's just mishandled it with that wet ball. And that's been the story of Bluefield tonight. And when they do get something going, they'll have a hold, they'll have a mishandled snap or a bad snap, and they just put themselves behind the sticks again, or 3rd and 10 here. They've done it all night.
We always mention, you hear it every weekend, staying on schedule. Bluefield has not been on schedule a whole lot tonight. And they'll try to get something here on 3rd and 10. Snap is back. It's a handoff, trying to get the edge. He got nothing. In fact, he lost about 10 yards.
Adam Long from his inside linebacker position just absolutely had that snuffed out. They've tried to run that several times tonight with varying degrees of success with Gerard Wade. Again, it's kind of a jet sweep, kind of not. He's not coming in motion at the snap, so I don't really call it a jet sweep, but they're just trying to get him out on the edge, and, man, Oak Hill has had nothing to do with it. And I will tell you what, in years past with Bluefield speed, plays like that have killed Oak Hill, but not tonight.
Not tonight. No, Oak Hill has been reading Bluefield like a book so far tonight. And we're under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter as this is another bad snap, and they're still fighting for it.
Adam Long's got it.
Up, and he's in. Touchdown, Oak Hill. I lost track of that ball.
Yeah, Adam Long came diving in there as the Redmond was trying to recover it, and it squirted loose, and Long was able to get a scoop and score that time. Big play for Adam Long on senior night. I wonder if that's his first career touchdown. I can't say for sure, but it might be. He's an offensive lineman and a linebacker. They don't always get chances, so great play for Adam Long here tonight on senior night for the scoop and score.
We'll have to consult some of our sources after that to get a confirmation.
I bet his dad can tell me. I bet his dad can tell me if that's his first touchdown.
I bet you, yes. So make it 20-0 Oak Hill with the lead, 5:40 to go in the 3rd quarter as we line up for the extra point. And he missed it.
Yeah, that one didn't look too good. But, again, the kicking game, you can take nothing for granted. Jackson knocked through his first 2, but you can take nothing for granted on the kicking game. I see, it's funny. I see Rob Long out there congratulating his son. So I'm wondering if that's his first. Rob gave him a big hug as he was coming off the field.
I can't confirm it is his first career
touchdown. His first career touchdown. So Adam is a heck of a good player, too. And you know, when you're offensive lineman, you don't always get a chance to touch the ball. So good for him. That's great. That's a great memory. I'm glad he was able to get that.
That's a memory he'll never forget.
Never forget.
So we had it's a tight game. Now we've got a lead that is increasing for Oak Hill here. Bluefield is really running out of time on options.
Yeah, and again, Bluefield's frustrated right now with the field conditions, with the way the game is going, with the score. They're seeing their playoff hopes kind of dwindle with each raindrop and each Oak Hill touchdown. Their play-by-play, he said they probably needed to win out to make the playoffs, but they definitely wanted this one. This would have been a lot of points for them to beat a 6-win AAA team, and kind of seeing this game slip away. Like I said, these kids are not used to. They're used to kind of running through Oak Hill, so this is new experience for Bluefield kids.
Yeah, it is. That's 5 generations of players and have never lost to Oak Hill. And that will be fielded at about the 25. He'll get to about the 35, as I think a flag came in on the far side there. I think I saw.
I don't think I saw what you were. I know what you saw, but I don't think it was a flag. It looked like maybe somebody threw a wristband or something. James Long and Mason McMullen. James Long's a really good special teams player. He makes his presence felt on those kickoff and punt returns. Had another nice tackle that time. So yeah, Bluefield down 3 scores here on a wet field. They've got nothing going in the passing game at all tonight. They're usually a heavy screen team like Oak Hill, and we really haven't seen either team try a lot of those tonight.
I can only recall one pass Bluefield's thrown tonight.
Yeah, down the field. I can too. I'm the same. They've tried a couple, and the quarterbacks had to tuck it, but just nothing's been there.
Full house in the backfield once again. They bring a man in motion. Reset things. Snap is back. Yeah, it's a handoff. And Oak Hill has their bed once again.
Yeah, and that's, again, Adam Long, among others, in on the tackle that time. Adam's having a really nice game tonight. They're trying to run power. Like you said, they're in the gun, and they kind of have a pistol formation with the full house backfield back there, and they're trying to run power. But, man, Oak Hill is just stuffing. They're stuffing everything that they're trying to do.
As we approach 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, 2nd and 15 for the Beavers here.
I think I think the chain gang was wrong. I think it's
2nd and 10.
2nd and 10, yeah.
Okay, yep.
I didn't think he lost 5 yards on
I didn't
it.
either, but I was just looking over
Yeah,
there.
I was looking at that too.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have a receiver down to our near side here. House isn't quite as full in the backfield. We've got a whistle, and what are we doing here, fellas?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the flag is here. Delay a game, actually.
Okay, so now it is 2nd and 15.
Yeah, 2nd and 15 now. Things are going, and this has been the game. This has been the game for Bluefield. Just mistake after mistake, and they just cannot get ahead of the chains, and they just can't get anything going offensively.
So now we have a 2nd and 15. That ball is resting on the 30-yard line. Beavers break the huddle. And they will be in pretty much the exact same formation with the receiver to the near side. It's a keep up the middle. And again, Oak Hill has the big beef in there, and the big beef wins.
Yeah, Colton Naylor's in there on the tackle, Mason McMullen, Derek Sullivan. Oak Hill's got their big kids in there on the defensive line right now, and they're ready for a power running game. And again, Bluefield right now just can't get anything going with that power running game. They've tried the edge. When they've tried the edge, they've had varying success. They've had a penalty called on them on the edge. There's been a couple times Oak Hill's just absolutely thrown it for a loss. And if you're Coach Simon right now, you're going through the playbook and you're just like, what do I have that's going to work right now?
Yeah, and it's an ever-dwindling list.
Yes.
Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 14 for the Beavers. And a bad snap, and they'll chuck it downfield. And that pass is nearly intercepted, and it's incomplete, and I thought someone came up with that for a second.
Yeah, the snap barely got back to him. Fields threw kind of a duck, which you would expect. The ball kind of slipped out of his hands. Malachi's waiting on it like he's catching a punt, but it hit him right in the chest, and he couldn't quite corral it. And we're seeing the wet ball on both sides that time rearing its ugly head.
So now it's 4th and 14 for the Beavers. And as much as you would love to say, oh, just go ahead and go for it, what do you have to lose? I think you got to punt it here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go for it here right now.
And that's another high snap. It is corralled, and it comes down. And Oak Hill's going to stay away from it. And that will be down at about the 46-yard line. So excellent field position for the Red Devils.
I'll tell you what, we were a couple inches from ABC, and Adam Long scored back-to-back touchdowns on punt because he came flying in there off the edge. And that time Redmond looked like he scooted back up a little bit. He was around 8-yard depth. And I thought Adam had a block. And if he blocked it, he might have scooped and scored again, which that might be an all-time. I don't think I've ever seen anybody score twice on like block punts. But he was in there really close to getting him one.
See, if that happens, I'm calling in the Metro News game night saying, you're not going to believe what happened in Oak Hill tonight. First of all, Bluefield lost, and then look what this kid did. All right, Oak Hill now with the ball. The handoff comes at the middle, and that goes nowhere.
Yeah, Bluefield's they've really shut down JD in the 2 or 3 times he's carried. So that was Landon Crane. He's number 44, and the reason his name is correct in my program, but the reason I thought it had to be incorrect, they list Landon at 5'7", 145, and if you look at number 44 out there for Bluefield, that kid is not 5'7", 145, so his number might be right, but his measurements are way off. But he's had a nice game from his inside linebacker position tonight for the Beavers.
He really has. He's been one of the bright spots in what has been a fairly dreary night for the Beavers. Because that's another, I think that was a bad snap, and Oak Hill corrals it, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we're really seeing the field conditions and the wet ball have an effect on both teams now. The snaps are barely getting back to the quarterbacks right now. They're trying their best to keep the ball dry, but that's going to be really hard in the way the field is right now.
It's still raining.
Still raining,
still windy.
yeah, absolutely. It's just terrible field conditions tonight.
So we wind under 2:30 to go in our third quarter. Oak Hill will have 3 receivers, 2 on near side, and 1 out wide to the far side. Snap is back. Malachi Lewis takes this. He takes off, and he's going to get a first down and then some. He gets upended before after getting, he got a first down.
Yeah, we've seen Malachi do that, and I think it's almost to the point with Malachi. That wasn't a design QB run, and Malachi comes up hobbling. That's no good.
Nope.
So, yeah, Levi Kisk is going to check in along with Tyler Ashmore. J.D. Merritt, but Malachi came up hobbling, so you definitely want to get him checked out because he's not only a leader on offense for you, he's a leader on defense from that free safety position. So Levi Kiska checks into the game now for Oak Hill at quarterback.
He has seen some experience so far this season, so it is not a complete off-the-bench situation. Kiska takes the snap. It's a little low, and it looks like Bluefield is on it.
Yeah, I think they got it. Yeah, they got it. Kiska couldn't handle the snap. I think that was
Malachi's going back out there on defense.
It's like Keith Powell was able to get the fumble recovery at time. But, yeah, that's a tough position. Levi comes in ice cold. He hasn't gotten any clock at all, and then he has to handle that wet ball. So he wasn't quite able to handle the snap. Break for Bluefield. Let's see if they do something with it here. That's Oak Hill's first turnover tonight.
First turnover of the game, isn't it?
Maybe. Well, we had the scoop and score on the punt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So the Bluefield Beavers trying to see if this is a spark for them offensively. And that's another low snap. And again, going nowhere is that run.
Yeah.
That's what, 5 or 6 low snaps?
Yeah, I mean, we're just seeing it. If I'm Bluefield or Oak Hill, you might try to get as much as you can out, maybe get it more on a hash, because the middle of that field right now is just chewed up. It's muddy. Maybe you try to find some open green grass somewhere toward the hash, more toward the sidelines a little bit. because the middle of that field's wreaking havoc for both teams right now.
Oh, yeah. We're under a minute to go in the third quarter. 20-0 Oak Hill with the lead. Beavers trying to find something offensively and get on the board.
They've stayed with sincere fields the whole time.
And that's going to, yep, I thought that was coming. Timeout, Bluefield, as the play clock was down to 2 seconds. And we'll take it with them. You're watching high school football on the New River Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Welcome back into the New River Network's coverage of high school football. Lucas Berry and Chris Rader here with you. We've got 44.6 seconds to go in the third quarter. Okay, I say 20-0 lead. And it's 2nd and 10 for the Beavers. Just took their first timeout after the play clock ran down to nearly 2 seconds.
Yeah, and that's after having to delay a game earlier. So, yeah, Bluefield's just out of sorts here offensively.
I sense frustration mounting on the part of the Beavers. And here is the snap. It's a good snap this time. And they tried to get to the outside like you said, and they did, but it didn't go anywhere.
Colton Naylor that time from his defensive tackle position just absolutely shut that down. Nice job in the interior for Oak Hill. And that's Braden Knight and Colton Naylor and Derek Sullivan, kids who don't get their number. A lot of times those guys are just eating up blocks for the linebackers to make tackles. But they've done a good job tonight making tackles themselves. They really good job on the interior from the big boys tonight for Oak Hill.
And based on the play clock and the game clock, Bluefield does not have to snap it before the fourth quarter begins. I don't think they will.
Yeah, they're just going to talk about it. And again, they're in a bad way. Third and 10 here.
And there is the zeros on the third quarter clock, and we shall return for the fourth quarter here at John Peters Stadium on the New River Network. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Welcome back into the New River Network's coverage of high school football. Here we might take this time to thank our game sponsor, Rainelle Medical Center, and thank you for those watching on the Greenbrier Valley channel here tonight. Oak Hill has a 20-0 lead to begin the fourth quarter. Lucas Berry and Chris Rader here with you. Bluefield on a 3rd and 10. We'll take the snap, and that handoff goes absolutely nowhere. He's going to lose about a yard.
Yeah, I think that was Jeffrey King who got his first carry of the game tonight, and Aaron Higginbotham was all over it. And, man, you kind of feel Coach Simon is just trying to run power, and Oak Hill's just stuffing it. They cannot do anything with it. Oak Hill's stuffing everything that they try. The couple of times they've tried to go up top with it, it hasn't looked good. Oak Hill's been all over it, had really good coverage. So, man, Bluefield just cannot get anything going offense. Great defensive performance tonight from the Red Devils. And they've really played. Oak Hill's had really great defense all year.
That's been the hallmark of this
team. It really
team.
has.
Punt is away. Again, in a very short punt formation, and with no one back, Bluefield will down it at about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Coach Marion was just kind of went punt safe that time. He didn't really have anybody back. Maybe thinking that at this point they have nothing to lose by faking it, so he just went punt safe. I don't blame him. You're up 3 scores, even if you give up a little field position, that's fine.
I'm thinking of it this way, too. Why take a chance on having a bad hop or something with the wet ball, and all of a sudden it hits you and it's a live ball?
That's a really good point. And if you have a punt returner back there and he tries to field it, that could be disaster. That's a really good point, and that's like probably another reason he didn't have anybody back there. Why even take that chance?
Right. As the wind continues to howl at John Peters Stadium, and we've said it a million times tonight, I can't remember a time I've been more thankful to be in the booth than tonight.
Miserable, yeah. Miserable night.
Yeah, it is. Oak Hill will take the snap here. It's a handoff. And J.D. Moritz keeps diving. As is usual, he'll get close to first down yardage, not quite there.
Yeah, they had kind of shut down J.D. the first 2 or 3 carries of the half. He was able to get good solid yardage that time and put Oak Hill on a 2nd and short. But J.D. ripped off some big runs in the first half to put Oak Hill in good position. Again, we mentioned in the pregame this game's tailor-made for somebody like J.D. Moritz. Just give it to your big burly back, let him go north-south and run people over, and that's exactly what he's done most of the game.
I'm checking the box score tomorrow morning to see how many carries he has and how many yards he has. I guarantee I'll be surprised by both numbers. Malachi will take the snap. He'll hand it off to him once again. And J.D. got a first down, so move the sticks for Oak Hill.
Yeah, and you were mentioning checking the box score. That's something that we tried to do a little earlier in the year, and it is so hard to try to keep stats, try to watch the game, try to make relevant comments. So we just kind of give up trying to keep stats. That's something I wish we could do. Maybe moving forward, we can get somebody up here I can bribe one of my friends to keep stats for me. But, yeah, well, you can check the box score with us tomorrow. But JD's had a really nice game tonight. You can take that to the bank, regardless of what the stats are.
I'm sure there's one of the students that wouldn't mind coming up here and being warm.
Yeah, exactly.
Malachi will take the snap. He'll hand the ball off. And JD once again, as a rugby scrum broke out for a second, he'll get, I'd say, get 5 yards there, 2nd and 5.
Man, if you like old school football in the mud, you're loving this one right now. This reminds me of one of the, you ever watch those old NFL films from games back like in the 50s and 60s where guys are just covered in mud, and that's exactly what this is, man. I mean, this is just 22 guys within 5 yards of each other, and you call it a rugby scrum. That's kind of what it is, really.
You've got Tom Landry and Vince Lombardi on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's more like George Hallis, I think.
Yeah, it is. George Hallis and Newt Rockne.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here's the handoff. And J.D., again, didn't go down on first contact and go forward for about 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, I want to give credit to number 9 for Bluefield. Nice tackle that time. That was Ty Patton. He held on to J.D., wouldn't let him get loose for any more than that. And J.D.'s a hard kid to bring down, so nice play that time by Ty Patton.
You know what the most impressive thing about those old NFL games were? The coaches wore suits and they didn't get those things dirty.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
That's the most impressive part. Those suits were immaculate at the end of that game.
Yeah. So we got some, I see number 57 for Bluefield on the field now. He's got a clean jersey, so that's Jabez Sims. He's 6'4", 265-pound lineman. He might be, if he's played, I don't know how his jersey's that clean.
Yeah. And J.D. will dive forward. He'll keep going. And he's going to cross that's the 40. Yep, that's the 40.
I'll tell you what, you hear sometimes the term, you got to make a business decision. When you see J.D. running at you, you really got to decide, do I want to tackle this guy or not? And, and if you're a safety for Bluefield, you hate to see him with the head of steam coming right at you.
That's the stuff of nightmares.
So Willis Wilson, a 5'11", 165-pound freshman, actually made the tackle, so good on him. He's given up a lot of size to J.D., but he was able to keep him from getting any more from his safety position.
He'll never forget tackling J.D. Moritz as a freshman.
Yeah, J.D. is really churning up yards. I mean, I'm going to be interested to see the box score tomorrow, too.
7.5 to go here in the game. Oak Hill driving, trying to eat up some clock. And that's a good way to do it, heading off to JD once again. He'll get about half, 2nd and 5.
And, we talk about JD. It's not all JD. It's the guys up front. So it's guys like Adam Long and Braden Knight and Desmond Mike. And those guys are just doing a great job up front for Oak Hill. Want to make sure Brandon Champion in there, because they're doing exactly what Bluefield's been trying to do, run power, except they're doing it. They're doing it with success. Bluefield hasn't been able to do it, so you got to give credit to the offensive line for doing that too.
You've got time out on the field. We'll take with him and continue this interesting conversation here on the River Network with 7:07 to go in the contest. We shall return.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Christ, host of the Courtside with Coach Chris show. I'm inviting you to join me and Dave Gorby every Thursday night at 7:30 here on the New River Network. We have a lot of fun doing this show with a wide variety of guests and topics that we offer, and we think you might enjoy it. So join us here on Thursday nights for the Courtside with Coach Chris show right here on the New River Network.
Welcome back into the New River Network's coverage of high school football. 7:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Oak Hill has a 20-0 lead on the Bluefield Beavers. And Chris, you and I were talking before the break about how Oak Hill's offensive front has done an excellent job of doing what Bluefield wants to and play power. We talked about how playing defense has been a hallmark for Oak Hill this year. The lines, we always say football is won in the trenches. Oak Hill has done an excellent job on both sides of the ball. All season they've gone up against some bigger teams. They've held their own and won those games. And when they want to play power football, they can do it.
No, the big guys for Oak Hill have done a nice job this year, and they don't get talked about enough. And shame on me, because I was one of those big guys a million years ago. But they've done a really nice job this year, opening holes for JD, giving Malachi protection. And, when they're on and defensively – holding up against other teams' ground attacks. So, great job by those guys tonight.
The previous play puts Oak Hill in a 3rd and 3 situation with 6.5 to go in our game.
So that was Tyler Ashmore who just got that carry. I don't know if JD's. It might be James Green back in there. He's in there for Oak Hill now at running back.
Malachi takes a snap and hands the ball off to him.
Hit.
That was a big hit. And
I think that was Landon Crane, number 44. Man, he put a good lick on James Green. He's had a nice game. He's a good player. Boy, that was a big hit right there in the interior of the line.
We've seen some big hits tonight. This has been a physical game.
Yeah, it really has.
Under 6 minutes to go in said game as JD comes to his head coach, Devon Marion, on the sideline. He'll check in for James Green, so you're right, it was James Green who took that handoff. JD has the play. He'll give it to his quarterback, Malachi Lewis, who will give it to the rest of the team.
And that's a hit that if JD takes, he's probably still getting 2 or 3 more yards after it.
Oh, yeah. Malachi with JD in as his running back. He'll hand the ball off.
No, he keeps it.
He keeps it. Fool me. And Malachi's got some room. He will get down inside the 10. Clock rolls, and Malachi took a second to get back up.
And just a great play call, and you could have seen that coming. They have just run power, ISO all the way down the field. All of a sudden, was pulled out of his belly. It was wide open. Really nice play call that time from Oak Hill and their staff. Good job.
It's one thing to fool the guys on the field, another thing to fool the play-by-play guy.
Yeah, it was a good fake. And Malachi does a good job of carrying out fakes. A lot of kids, they don't carry out the fake. They just want to get to the play. Malachi will carry out the fake, and nice job that time.
He should go into the sales business when he gets out of here because he does a really good job of selling that stuff.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, and he's matured in that position. Malachi never played quarterback before, and we've seen him mature as the seasons went along as a QB.
Under 5 minutes now to go in the game. 1st and goal for the Red Devils. Handoff up the middle. And Tyler Ashmore is down at the 1.
And if you've listened to the broadcast, you've heard me say it. If there's not a Tyler Ashmore fan club, I'm willing to start one. The kid does not get a lot of carries, but every time he does, he looks good. And he looked like J.D. Moritz that time. He took contact. He kept his legs churning. He's a really nice weapon for Oak Hill. In the limited amount of times he gets it, you can take J.D. out, put Tyler or James Green in, and still get really solid production. That was a really good run by Tyler Ashmore, though.
It's a deep running back group, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really is.
So 2nd and goal from the 1. And Ashmore is still in there. You know he wants that. He'll get a chance for it, and he dives for it, and he got it.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Oak Hill.
Good for him. Good for Tyler Ashmore. Glad he got one.
And I was kind of hoping 20 because of the symbolism. Oak Hill hasn't beaten Bluefield for 20 years, but Tyler Ashmore more than deserved that touchdown.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And one of the first guys to congratulate him was J.D. Moritz. J.D. Moritz came off the sidelines to congratulate him, and you like to see that, man. I mean, that shows some camaraderie and good team chemistry. When J.D. was as happy as anybody in the stadium that Tyler scored that.
Gotta love it. Jackson Pino's back for the extra point. The snap is down, and that kick is no good. So, with 4:10 to go in the 4th quarter, Oak Hill has a 26-0 lead over the Bluefield Beavers, and we'll be right back on the New River Network. Welcome back to the New River Network's coverage of high school football here. Lucas Berry and Chris Ryder here with you on a wet, windy, and overall just a dreary night in Oak Hill. But the home team is on the verge of doing something it hasn't done in 20 years, beating the Bluefield Beavers. Oak Hill leads at 26-0 with 4:10 to go in the game. Chris Ryder.
Yeah, this is a big win for Oak Hill. I've mentioned to you off air and last week, I've seen Bluefield just absolutely beat the tar out of Oak Hill several times. So, look, this is we come at it from an Oak Hill perspective. I'm happy for the Oak Hill kids. I'm happy for the Oak Hill fans to put together a performance like this against Bluefield because it hasn't happened a lot. I think you told me before the game, Bluefield came in with a 48-9 series advantage. So,
and the average score is 37-12.
So if you're a Bluefield fan listening to this, don't take offense to it. We're only saying it because we have such respect for your program because Bluefield's been so dominant. But, Oak Hill fans don't get to see these kind of wins against Bluefield very often. So nice win for the Red Devils, and it really sets them up nicely going into next week against Beckley.
We do still have business to take care of, though, with 4:06 to go in our 4th quarter. Bluefield will take over, and at this point, it's just get the heck out of here. Run the ball, keep the clock moving, and let's get in that locker room.
Yeah, I think they put Redmond. Yeah, Redmond's back in at quarterback. Yeah, so
you can tell because of the.
Yeah, so he's back in at QB. They're going to try to throw it.
Flag is down on the far side. Redmond will keep it, and he'll get tackled down to 39.
And if you're a Bluefield fan, this has been the story of the night. So that's easily their best play of the night. A nice scramble that time by Redmond, but it looks like it's probably going to come back because of a flag.
And that flag came right down in the area from the offense.
Yeah, we'll see what the call is, but that's been the story of the game for Bluefield. They take one step forward and legal shift. Yeah.
Beavers. Yep.
That might have been on Jeffrey King out there. I'm not sure. I don't want to blame it on him, and that's been the story of the game for Bluefield. They take one step forward and 3 steps back, and so that's got to be frustrating for Coach Simon and his staff. And historically, that's not something you see Bluefield teams do a lot of. They don't kill themselves.
No, this is such it's Bluefield, but it's not.
Yeah, this isn't your typical Bluefield team, and we kind of knew that coming in. This this wasn't as strong a team as what they normally have. Although, coming into the game, them and Oak Hill was really evenly matched, especially if you looked at scores against common opponents. The point differential was very similar, but Oak Hill's just got the best of them tonight.
And Bluefield just took their last time out and had a 1st and 15 after that penalty. What are you even saying in that kind of a timeout?
I don't know, Lucas. I mean, that's why Coach Simon's been doing this a long time. If nothing else in the last 342, you're saying, guys, let's just play a clean last 342, no penalties. Let's just maybe try to get a couple first downs and take something positive out of this, because I've got to tell you, there's not a lot of positives to take out of this for Bluefield tonight. It's been a very frustrating night if you're a Beaver fan.
There's been some positive individual performances, but nothing positive from a team perspective.
Not from a team perspective. Yeah, we've seen Landon Crane make some nice plays. We've seen R.J. Hairston make a couple nice plays, but from a team perspective, it's been a rough night for Bluefield.
And they emerged from their huddle with 3:42 to go in the game. 1st and 15 now for the Beavers at about the 35-yard line. Yeah, it's hard to see those numbers now.
Yeah, it really is.
And forget about the hashes in the middle of the field. That was a lost cause a long time ago. Snap is back. It's a rollout to the far side. And he got him sacked on the play. It was Redmond back there, I believe.
Yeah, that was Redmond. I think that was Aaron Higginbotham that time. That Redmond tried to roll left. And I got to tell you, in years past, Oak Hill's really had trouble matching up with Bluefield on the edges against, some speedy receivers. That has not been the case tonight. And I was looking downfield as Redmond was scrambling. He had nowhere to go with it. And that's kind of been the case all night. The few times they have tried to pass it, and you can say maybe the field's had something to do with that, but I really think Oak Hill's been able to match up with them on the outside speed-wise more so than they have in years past.
This Oak Hill team has speed, and they've got some guys up front that do their job really, really well. It's a hard defense to play against. Under 3 minutes now to go. And that's a bad snap, and it's a fumble, and Oak Hill falls on it.
Yeah, Aaron Higginbotham came up with the fumble that time for the Red Devils. He's had a nice game tonight, too. We've called his name several times. He's another senior, and he's had a nice year and had a nice game tonight. So, nice play by Aaron Higginbotham to come up with that loose ball.
So with 2:45 to go in the game, Oak Hill will take over at about the 40-yard line of Bluefield. 35, I'm sorry.
And I tell you what, if you're Bluefield, I'm looking at number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4 might be getting the ball, guys.
I'm looking at whatever running back standing back there with number 12. That's a low snap. Malachi does pick it up, and he gets a good chunk of yardage on that play, so I made something out of nothing there.
Yeah, and at this point, you're actually seeing, as guys are stepping, you're seeing water splash up. So the field is just a real mess right now. Nice job by Malachi to retrieve that snap and get, solid positive yardage out of it.
Clock keeps rolling. We're under 2.5 to play in the game. 2nd and 4 for Oak Hill.
Malachi's probably thinking, can we just get the basketball season where I'm indoors, it's warm?
Yeah. I'm with it. And we are down to 2 minutes to go in the game. 2nd and 4 for Oak Hill. Malachi wipes his hands, takes the snap, hands it off. And it looked like Tyler Ashmore there.
Yeah, it was Tyler Ashmore. He's really close to a first down.
27 and 17 are going to get me, I know.
Yeah, I think Jacob Green just actually checked back into the game for Tyler. JD's night is probably over as we're, a minute and a half and counting right now.
1st and 10 for the Red Devils. It's on the 14-yard line, so close to the 1st and goal territory, not quite yet. Line to gain is the 4. And with 12 seconds to go on the play clock, they're going to let this run down. Snap is back. It's a handoff. No, it's a keep. Malachi takes it. He gets drilled. And some extra cricketers there between James Green and the Bluefield player. I can't get a name. I can't get a number for the Bluefield player.
Yeah, that wasn't designed. I mean, it was supposed to be a handoff to James Green, and again, Malachi kind of bobbled the snap and just decided to wisely keep it instead of trying to hand it off. And he did get drilled, and he got drilled forward though. So
and you take it.
The hit knocked him about 3 yards forward. So I kind of figure Oak Hill, they'll snap it one more time because they have to. See if they take a knee or try to run one more play.
And we're under 30 seconds to go in the game, down to 7 on the play clock. And that's a handoff up to James Green up the middle. And
did he fumble?
I don't.
I'm not sure what happened there.
I'm not either.
Oh, we got
now
some.
Well, I know what happened there. We got a flag.
Yeah. Got a flag down there. You hate to see that with 16 seconds left. Some guys got in each other's face a little bit.
It's been chippy all night, but
yeah, it has been. It's been chippy but clean. I haven't seen anything dirty from either team.
No.
But they have talked a little bit to each other. We've seen some blocks finish right at the echo of the whistle, but it's been a cleanly played game. So just let's not get silly here. Both teams have rest of the season they need to be on the field for each other. They don't want to get suspended for the first half of any game, especially
next week.
Yeah, Oak Hill going to Beckley. You definitely want to do that. So just keep your head here, be smart, and no silly penalties.
Timeout called by Oak Hill. This seems like the guys that's calmed down here. Timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what Coach Marion's telling them. He's like, guys, we don't need any suspensions for the first half of next week. We're up 26-0 with 13 seconds left. Let's be smart here.
So as we mentioned, Oak Hill has not done this since 2003. They've not beaten Bluefield. I actually have the score of that game written down. It was 21-20, and that game was played right here at John P. Duda Stadium. So it has been a long time. Of course, these two were AA foes for a long time. Oak Hill, of course, now back in AAA. Likely a quad A school when we get there, but we'll get there when we get there. This is a big win for Oak Hill. You go to 7-1. You've beaten Bluefield. You beat the defending state champion Independence. You've done everything you want to do so far. Just that one blemish against a really, really good Princeton team.
Yeah, they're sitting fourth right now in Class AAA, that Princeton team.
So here we go. 13.4 seconds to go. And here's the handoff. There's a flag down. And
did we need a flag right there?
Yeah. Guys, I want to be home before midnight. Let's go.
Yeah, just keep that one in your pocket, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we say it every week. If you're going to call it in the first half, call it in the second half. But then it's easy to say that in the first half.
I think we have a Bluefield player down,
I think we do.
So trying to get it's really hard to see who that might be.
With the mud and all that, it's not. It's a lost cause for me.
That might be number 4, Tykees Powell. We saw him shake off an injury earlier. That might be. I mean, his jersey's caked in mud. I'm thinking that's Powell, and hopefully he's okay. But we saw him hobble a little bit earlier in the game, but he toughed it out, didn't come out.
And through all that, I actually missed the penalty call. I don't know what. I was trying to see if I could see a number. I don't know why. But we're going to wind the clock, and that will do it as the handshake line will commence. And so, for the first time since 2003, you hear this score. Oak Hill beats Bluefield 26-0 at John P. Duda Stadium on senior night here in Oak Hill.
Well, Lucas, you mentioned last week when you start the football schedule, you want to win their opening, you want to win homecoming, you want to win senior night. Oak Hill swept them 3-0. So, yeah, nice little home slate for the Devils this year. And they still have one more home game to go against University here in a couple weeks.
Yep, and so that will move Oak Hill, as mentioned, to 7-1. Bluefield falls to 3-5. Oak Hill will take this show on the road next week to Van Meter Stadium to face the Woodrow Wilson Flying Eagles, and that is a Woodrow team coming off a bye this week. I guarantee you they looked at this one in the game and went, that's going to be a good game against Oak Hill.
Big playoff implications for Woodrow. They were 14th in the latest SSAC rankings. Big playoff implications for Woodrow. And we mentioned earlier, if Oak Hill has their sights set on hosting a playoff game, that's a big one for Oak Hill too. Mm-hmm. So Oak Hill, both teams will really be motivated for that one. I'm looking forward to it.
Remember what happened last year? It was a big playoff game. It was a big playoff implication game for both teams. Woodrow came in here and shut Oak Hill down, and Oak Hill didn't have a game remaining. Woodrow did rather, and Woodrow made the playoffs. Oak Hill sat at home.
That's exactly right.
That game has historically been very important for playoff implications when it's been a AAA game.
Well, it's another team that Oak Hill historically hasn't had a ton of success against. That's the reason I was glad they were able to beat Bluefield tonight. Then you go into a game against Beckley next week, who's a team that historically has dominated that series, and you maybe have a little confidence. Like, you know what? We beat Bluefield. Let's go ahead and take care of business against Woodrow, maybe host a playoff game. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game next week in Beckley.
I'm looking forward to it as well, and we hope to join you next week. We'll hope you'll join us as we'll see if we take this show on the road. For now, that's the end of this one. Final score once again, Oak Hill 26, Bluefield nothing. Thank you for watching on the Nerva Network and the Greenbrier Valley channel. Good night, everyone.